Sorry friends for that. Okay, let me tell you what I was talking about is we need to go to portal.office.com or onedrive.com to go ahead and go to this OneDrive website. Okay, once you go to onedrive.com or portal.office.com, click on OneDrive and then you log on to Microsoft OneDrive. Yeah, now here, if you look on the left hand side panel, here you will see the option that says Get OneDrive app. Now, when you use this application, which is OneDrive app, just download and install that. And once you download and install OneDrive application, you will see OneDrive application at the bottom right corner like this. Yeah, I repeat, once you need to download and install OneDrive application. The people, those who are using Windows 10 1709 and later version, I think with Windows 10 OneDrive application is inbuilt installed and there's no specific version for it, but I'm not 100% sure. But when we talk about OneDrive application is already installed in Windows 10. So you don't even need to download and install OneDrive application. But other platforms, just in case if you're using Windows 7 or any other version, you will have to download this OneDrive app. Once you download this OneDrive app, you just need to sign in using OneDrive. Now, as you can see, there are two icons on my system. One icon is OneDrive Professional. This blue color is OneDrive for Business, which is the Office 365 version, and this is OneDrive Personal, which is the personal OneDrive. If you're using OneDrive Personal, you get 5 GB of free space, and if you're a paid user of Office 365 or OneDrive, then you get 1 terabyte of free space. Okay, now the Office 365 license that I have has got is a E3 license. Yeah, it's E3 license, which is one of the best licenses or the software version that we have. Now, when you download and install OneDrive application, if you're using it for the first time, in order to start syncing your OneDrive, you just need to click on sync. When you click on sync, you will see this beautiful lady sitting in the garden. You will, if you see this, and if you see this pop-up message which says open Microsoft OneDrive, you just need to click on that. Once you click on that, it will launch OneDrive and it will start syncing. When it starts syncing, any file or folder that you create on OneDrive will automatically get uploaded, or any file or folder that you create online will get downloaded on the system. Okay, so this is how, when we talk about OneDrive application, this is how the syncing happens. Now, so far whatever I've mentioned, that either must have been configured by your IT department, or you would know it by default, because it's a very simple feature. Now, let us talk about something more detailed one. After you click on sync, now I would recommend that when you go to your desktop, on the left hand side, you will see OneDrive Personal and OneDrive Official. So the company that I work for is Tech and Training Corporate Solution. It has got OneDrive Office 365. When I click here, all the files that I have online is available here. Now, I would recommend that you should use OneDrive. You should store all the files in OneDrive. Do not store any file outside OneDrive. The reason I'm asking you to not store anything outside OneDrive is because what happens is, when you store OneDrive outside, you will not be able to recover the data, or you will not be able to back up that data online. Let me tell you one situation that I landed up in last month. What happened was, all of a sudden my laptop got locked. I had enabled BitLocker drive encryption, which requires 45 or 43 digit key to unlock, and I was just about to start my training program. It was just 40 minutes to go for my training program, and I landed myself in that situation. I was just experimenting, and I also missed that key. I had no choice but to format my system, and luckily I carry one bootable pen drive with me. So I had no choice but to format my complete system. I formatted my complete system in 40 minutes, and when I logged in, I could see all my files over there. Not even a single file I lost. So how will you back up your system? Let me tell you, if you look at my system, I've got only one drive, that is C drive, and my OneDrive is configured in C drive. Okay. Now, why am I talking about these drives? That is because if you have D drive and E drive, that cannot be backed up on OneDrive. You have to manually put everything in OneDrive. Yeah. So if your OneDrive is configured here, what you can do is just do right click on OneDrive app at the bottom right corner. When you do right click here, you will get to see various options. You just got to go to settings. When you click on settings, here you have the option that is backup. When you go to backup, manage backup. And here I can back up my desktop, I can back up my documents, I can back up my pictures. Yeah. Now, let me tell you one thing. I repeat these steps and then I'll explain this backup. I do right click, go to settings. Now, these settings option will only be available if your OneDrive is running and it is not paused. By the way, you can pause your OneDrive for 2 hours, 8 hours and 24 hours just in case if you're running out of battery or you are in low bandwidth internet connection area. Yeah. So you can pause OneDrive. Now, when you go to settings here, over there, you just need to go to backup and click on manage backup. Now, when you go to backup, ideally these three folders are not backed up automatically. You have to manually back them up. So you here, as you see, stop backup, you would find start backup. So you need to select all these three and start backup. It will also tell you how much space is going to be utilized online. Office 365 OneDrive application provides you 1 terabyte of space. So now, as I said, I do not store any file outside OneDrive and even desktop, because we have the habit of storing everything, saving everything on the desktop. Yeah. Let me show you. My desktop at the moment looks like this, but there is a Windows feature. I can do right click view and show desktop. My desktop looks like this originally. I'm very bad at managing my desktop. So let me show you how to do hide these files. Right click, view, show desktop, uncheck this. Now, although my desktop is clear, but it is not clear. I have cluttered everything on my desktop. Now, if I use desktop so heavily, then this OneDrive application that I was talking about needs to back up my desktop folder as well. So that is a feature that you can use to back up OneDrive. Next thing that you need to do, once you back up desktop, documents and folder, automatically you will find it over here. So when you go to OneDrive here, see this desktop is nothing but your desktop which you have, which is synced with your desktop folder. Then I have documents and then I will also have pictures. One thing that you must remember, yeah, somewhere here I'll find pictures. Yeah, this is the picture. Yeah, one thing you must remember, that the files which, if your OneDrive is set up, sorry, not files, if your OneDrive is set up outside C drive, then you will not be able to back up desktop folder and all those things. Both your both should be there on C drive. Your desktop is by default configured to C drive. Your OneDrive should also be installed in C drive. Then only it can back up desktop, documents and pictures. Next thing, once we talk about backup desktop, now let me tell you, let me ask you one more question. My desktop, or sorry, my laptop has got only 256 GB, but Office 365 provides 1 terabyte of space. Now, don't you think so that if my laptop has got 256 GB, how can I make use of 1 terabyte? Or what is the use of having 1 terabyte space? Yeah. So now I'm going to talk about how do you manage files and folders. Okay. Now, first of all, when you go to your My Computers, that is nothing but this is nothing but Windows Explorer. In order to open Windows Explorer, you can press Windows and E. When you press Windows and E, it will open Windows Explorer. Yeah, you need to go to on the left hand side, which is OneDrive. When you go to OneDrive, if your OneDrive is running, you will see the status column. Now, there could be some reasons why you don't see the status column. First reason could be your OneDrive is paused. Yeah, so let me pause this OneDrive and show it to you quickly. I pause it, and now see the status column, everything is gone. Yeah, the status column is there, but nothing is visible. So if your OneDrive is paused, or if your OneDrive is not running, then you will not see anything in the status column. Yeah. Now, next thing, that you have in when you talk about OneDrive. Just a moment, I have a question. Okay, can you please do the sync procedure? How do you add desktop to OneDrive? Okay, so I've got two questions here. Okay, I'll take those questions right now, but now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take questions after every 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. So the first question was, how do I do the sync procedure? So sync procedure is very simple. You just need to log on to your OneDrive. In my case, I go to portal.office.com. When I go to portal.office.com, here I see OneDrive. I click on OneDrive. I come here. Now, when I come to portal.office.com, I have to have OneDrive installed. If it is installed and if I have the active subscription, I'll just click on this sync. And when I click on this sync, I'll get this picture. I'll click on open OneDrive. Yeah. Second thing. Next thing that I have is when I talk about other question was how do I add the desktop and documents folder? Right click on the OneDrive icon, go to settings, then you come to the settings window, go to backup. When you click on backup, here you need to click on manage backup, and here you can take the backup. If this shows in red color that you're not able to backup, that means your OneDrive is not located in C drive. That could be one of the reason why you're not able to do the backup. Okay. Now, coming back to this status column, if you don't see the status column on your Windows machine or Windows Explorer, it clearly means that your OneDrive is not running or it is paused. The third reason why it could not show status column is your Windows is not updated. Yeah, let me tell you, this feature was released in 2015 with the version 1809, 15 or 16, and the version was 1809. How do you check what is your Windows version? Now, I'm sure many people would come back and ask me, so please take a look at the screen. You need to press Windows and R. Windows key and R. Windows is the key on the left hand side of your keyboard with four squares. Windows R. And when you press Windows R, it opens up run command. And in run command, what you need to do is type WINVER. I repeat, type the keyword WINVER. Yeah. So when you type WinVer, that is Windows version, make sure that it is a single word. These are not two words. Yeah. When you go to WinVer, you can go to OK, and you will see here I'm using Windows 10, and this is Windows 10 Pro, which is the Pro version of Windows, and here is the version. This 1909 tells you what is the actual version of your Windows. Let me tell you what Microsoft has done these days. Microsoft now sends update for their Office products and Windows products every month. They keep on updating their product, and these numbers get updated again every month. So since I've got 1909, this is one of the latest publicly available version. Now, why am I saying publicly available version? Microsoft also has one more version which is ahead of it, which is called as insider version. What is insider version? Briefly, in one or two statements, I'm going to tell you. Insider version means you can simply say it's a beta release. You get the feature ahead of others. Advantage is you are getting the new features very early. Disadvantage is those features at times could be unstable. Microsoft is still testing those features on a larger scale. So you may at times land up in not big trouble, but at times your Windows can create some problems. So this is my version. Windows version is 1909. That is latest version. So if this number is 1809, 1803, sorry, 1803 or later or higher, then this Windows version will have the status column. And if you have the status column, that means you can sync your OneDrive. Now, this status column or this particular feature is called as OneDrive Files on Demand. When I say OneDrive Files on Demand, what does it mean? Do you see there are few icons here? This particular icon has got cloud over here. This particular icon is green in color. Yeah. Now, we'll see few more icons here. As you can see that there is one more icon. This is dark green color. And there are 4 icons here. Let me tell you what these icons mean. First thing, let me show you that this file, the size of this file is 2349. If I do right click over here and go to properties, it shows size of this file is 2.29 MB and size on the disk is again 2.29 MB. Yeah. So what does this difference mean? Size and size on disk. Let's understand. And there is one more confusion that I have. There is one icon which is completely green in color, the other icon which is just a tick mark, and the other icon is a cloud icon. Yeah, and the other icon which has got this man next to it, a symbol of man next to it. What these icons mean? Very important and useful. Yeah. So let me first tell you. This particular icon, that means the file is not on your system, it is on the cloud. Advantage, it does not take any memory space. Disadvantage, you cannot access this file without internet connection. Let's go to this icon. Sorry, this icon. This means your file is available on your system as well as available online. Understand? I repeat, this file is available on the system as well as it is available online. If you make any changes to this file, it will sync with the cloud version. So both the places you will find the same version of the file. If I talk about this particular version, which is my test, again, what is the difference between this icon and this icon? It's a very small difference. Otherwise, they both are nothing but the same. So as I repeat, this file is also available on my system as well as it is available on the cloud. Okay. The difference between this file and this kind of files is this is permanently available on my system and this is temporarily available on my system. Now, what does this term permanently available and temporarily available mean? And how do we make it permanently available? So I'm going to come back to this term permanently available and temporarily available in just 2 minutes. But let me first tell you, how do we get these 2 icons on the system? Yeah. And these three icons, not specifically these 2 icons. So let's say I do right click properties and I see 2.29 MB. Now what I'm going to do, I don't want this file on my system because I don't use it regularly. I use it once in a while and whenever I need it, I'll download it because at the moment it is consuming some space on my system. I'll simply do right click and go to free up space. When I do free up space, see what happened? This icon turned into cloud. And now if I press Alt Enter, by the way, Alt Enter is the shortcut to open the properties window. So instead of doing right click properties, you can just press Alt Enter. So after doing Alt Enter, I see that the size is still 2.29 MB, but the size on disk has got reduced to 0 bytes. That means now this file is no more available on my system. Although I see that there is some file like this, but it is there on the cloud. If I have to get it again, I can do right click and make always keep on this device, or I'll simply do double click. When I do double click, it will sync, and do you see that it has downloaded that file? And it will download and it will turn into this icon once again. So when I do right click and go to properties, over there I'll see it has got 2.29 and 2.29 size on disk. Yeah. So if I have to move it to the cloud once again, I go ahead and do it. Free up space. Okay. Now, second thing, like I said, if I double click, it does not turn into this icon, but it turns into this particular icon. I repeat, if I double click, it does not turn into this icon, but it turns into this. Sorry, does not turn into this icon, but turns into this icon. Why? Because it's temporarily available. I will have permanently available, only those files will be marked as permanently available where I manually do right click and go to always keep on this device. When I manually go ahead, do right click and select keep on this device, then only this will be permanently available. Now what does this term permanently available mean? If I don't use it for a while, then this file is going to be automatically be moved to cloud. Sorry, this file, this icon. Yeah. If I don't use this file, it will automatically be moved to the cloud. Now, what is the duration? I can set the duration. If I don't use this file in 1 day or 15 days or 30 days or 60 days. So let's say 30 days is a good amount of time. If I don't use a file within 30 days, this file will automatically be moved to the cloud. But this file will never be moved to the cloud. Now, how does this decide this 30 days and 60 days? So let me show you a feature in Windows. Yeah, this feature will not be available to all the Windows version users, but 1803 and later. If I go to start and type storage, then I get storage settings. When I go to storage settings, so here I have storage. When I go to storage, do you see here the option that says storage, configure storage sense or run it now? When I click on that, I repeat, how did I come to the screen? Yeah, I think I went a little fast. Let me do it again. Yeah, so go to start and type storage, right? When you click on storage, you go to the option that says storage settings. When you click on storage settings, here you will see the option configure storage sense or run it now. Understand? If you don't see this option, that means you're running a older version of Windows. You should have this option if your Windows is 1803 or later version. Yeah. So if I think it is available in 1709 also. I'm not 100% sure because see, let me tell you, Microsoft is releasing a lot of updates and a lot of things together. So for us trainer also, it becomes very difficult to keep a track of the version numbers and all those things. But I'm pretty sure it is available 1803 and later version. Prior version, it may have or it may not have. So when you click over here and scroll to the bottom, here I have OneDrive Tech and Training Corporate Solution and OneDrive Personal. So here by default, Microsoft has selected never. You can choose whether that duration should be 1 day, 14 days, 30 days or 60 days. I have selected 60 days because if I don't use a file for 60 continuous days, I don't need it on my system. Better move it online. And that is how, even though my laptop has got 256 GB hard drive, I'm able to handle more data than what my laptop can handle. Yeah, because not every data is used every day. Yeah, so whenever you need it, you can clean it now. Otherwise, periodically, Microsoft will clean it for you. Next thing, when I talk about this particular icon, that means this file is shared with other people. Other files are not shared with other people, but this particular file is shared with other people. So friends, remember that whenever you get these icons, you will see that these files are shared. Now, along with this, you get two more icons. One icon is syncing icon. That means, okay, let me show you. You must have seen that, by the way, but still, let me show you. Right click, always keep on this device. That syncing. This is the syncing icon. It is syncing. There are some file types which cannot be synced, like temporary file cannot be synced. Your PST generally gets synced. Earlier, it used to not sync PST files, but now they have started syncing PST files. And the problem with PST files is the moment you close the Outlook, even though you have not used PST, but you have just opened and closed Outlook, automatically the PST file will get uploaded. So at times, few people have few GBs of PST. That entire file will get uploaded. So never sync PST file. Okay. So there are a lot of other things like your OneDrive can handle up to 30 lakh files, but Microsoft recommend it to be around 3 lakh files is something which they recommend, but it has got the capacity to manage up to 30 lakh files. Yeah. There are some restrictions I may upload in the comment section. I'm going to upload this into the video on my YouTube channel. In the section, my comment section, you can see certain links where I'm going to share what kind of file types cannot be synced on OneDrive, what kind of characters you should not be using on OneDrive. So there are a lot of things that you should pay attention to, but generally OneDrive is very simple and easy to use. Okay. So friends, so far what I've done is I have told you how to sync and how to manage the files and all those things. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk about sharing feature because that's a very important and useful feature. So two more features which are coming up right now. One is sharing. How do you share and what are the things that you should consider while sharing the files and should not consider while sharing the files, that I'm going to talk about. And second thing is version history. Yeah. So these are very useful things. And then we are going to talk about how do you use OneDrive with Microsoft applications. Yeah. So sharing of the file. So sharing files is very simple. So let's say I come here and I would like to share this file with others. I can simply do right click and go to share, right? And when I click on the share, I'm doing it from my Windows application. I'm not online on the browser. Yeah. So at the moment, what I have is this particular window and I can go ahead and share this file. What I can do now is, let's say I want to share it on the browser. So I go to my browser and here I go ahead and this is nothing but testing folder. So I do right click and I click on share. Yeah. Now when I click on share, here I have these four options. So let me tell you, I can do this feature. I can use this feature on my desktop as well as on the cloud. Of course, you have to have the internet connection to be able to. When I click on this particular icon, I have this option which says anyone with the link can edit. Okay. So I have this option by default in most of the corporate organization. In most of the organization, you have this anyone with the link, people in tech and training, people with existing access, and specific people. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about these two for now. These two are self-explanatory. When I talk about anyone with the link, I have the option allow editing. I can allow editing. I may not allow editing. I also can set the expiration date. That means if I'm sharing this file right now with someone and I want to unshare it after the project is over, I can set, let's say this file should be shared for the next 1 week. I have shared, and automatically after a week that person will no longer have access to this file, these files and folders. I can even share this file with a password so that even if it lands in someone's mailbox who should not have access, you can set it with some password and share the password in a separate email. So these are very simple thing. Now this is the option of anyone with the link. In most of the organization, this option is disabled, because likewise I can share bulky folders with someone, maybe the person who's outside the organization, and these kind of link are untraceable. I mean, it becomes very difficult to trace. Let's say I have accidentally used this option and shared it to a colleague who is working in my organization. He has shared it to someone else and he has ultimately shared it to someone else. Then it will be difficult for me to keep a track, because anyone who has the link will have access to my internal resources. So if you are an IT person and you are managing OneDrive, you should immediately disable this option for your organization. In one of the organization where I'm training, I have asked them to disable it and they have done it on their systems. Now, second thing, when I talk about this particular sharing of files, I was sharing a folder. Let me now share a file. So I do right click and go to share. Here I can go ahead and uncheck this option. So see, earlier when I was sharing a folder, I did not have this option block download. I repeat, let me show it to you once again. If I share any particular folder, right click and share, and I go ahead allow editing, I do not have that block download option. Now when I'm sharing a particular file, I do right click, go ahead and share, and now if I uncheck this option, this block download opens up. That means you can share a file without letting the end user to block the file, to download the file. Let's say you want that person to only view the schedule. See, last time when I've used this file, I have sent it to my client and I just wanted to give them the project wise detail, date wise, project wise details. When are we going to do what activity? I don't want them to make any changes, but also I don't want to send them the file. So I simply uncheck the allow editing and I selected block download, and I can share the link. Now how do we share the link? I'm coming to that part. Yeah. So I'm just explaining various features here. Second thing, specific people. So again, specific people is allow editing, block download, both the options are available. Now specific people means I am going to define who will have exclusive access to this file. This is completely against this. Yeah. Here anyone, if I create a link, share it with anyone, and everyone who has access to it will have access to this folder. But here I'm binding it with specific people only. Yeah. Let us say I have given access. So when I click on specific people, and let's say I'm going to give the editing option, I click on apply, and here I have to choose the name of the person who are going to have access to this. So let's say I'm giving the access to Prashant. Now Prashant will have access to this particular file. If I click on send, automatically an email will be sent to that person. Now understand, this is a very important situation. Let's say I have shared one link to Prashant. Now Prashant has got that email, and now Prashant sends it to, let's say, Umesh. As I said, I sent the link to Prashant. Prashant has forwarded that link to Umesh. But who does that link belong to actually, or that file or folder belongs to actually? It belongs to me. So Prashant does not have access to share that link with anyone else. But if Prashant still goes and does it, before that email or before that access reaches to the recipient, I will get a notification saying Prashant is trying to share this file with so and so person. Do you want to approve it or deny it? Are you getting what I'm saying? I use the option specific people and share it with Prashant. Prashant is sharing it with Umesh. Umesh will not receive any communication that Prashant has shared anything like that. I will receive the communication that Prashant is sharing with Umesh. Do you want to approve it or deny? If I say deny, no mail will be sent to Umesh, right? If I say approve, automatically mail will be sent to Umesh because I am the owner of that document. Now, here email or link can be shared in two different ways. One is I can share like this send, and then Prashant will get that file and he can further use the same right click share feature and he can share it with someone else. Or I can copy the link like this and put it in an email. Yeah. Now if I'm copying like this and put it in an email, I will not get the notification because I'm copying it, and let's say I can even paste it in Teams and share it with any person. But since this was specifically given the access to Prashant, even though Prashant shares this link with anyone else, those people will not have access to these files. I hope I'm clear over here. I think it is little confusing in the first instance, but it is not so confusing. Like I said, I repeat once again, if I share it with person A cannot share the file with person B unless I approve it. And even somehow person A shares it with person B will not have access unless and until I approve it. Yeah, so that is how you can try this feature. It's very useful. Now, since I've been speaking since a very long time, let me take up some questions. So let me see what questions do we have here. So the first question is shared by, can I get the changes made in such scenario when I use allow editing like track changes and Word? Okay, that is one question. The second question was what the mean of allow editing when share link with someone. Okay, so I'll take up a simple question first from Jayesh Pawar. Can I synchronize the data of drive D or E to OneDrive? No, OneDrive cannot synchronize the data in drive D or E. You will have to copy and paste a folder in the OneDrive folder. What is the meaning of allow editing when share the link with someone? See, allow editing means the person can online share edit the file. So I'm going to demonstrate that feature in next 2 minutes. You will understand. Can I get the changes made in such scenario when I allow editing like track changes? Yes, you can do track changes and all those features as well. So we have understood about sharing the files. Now I'm going to come to the second one. Let me also tell you one quick thing. Recently I received a file where a lady from an organization shared using this particular feature, people with their organization's file, and she was sharing it with me in the Outlook email. So if you are using this, you cannot share it outside the organization, and even if you do, the person outside the organization will not be able to access the files and folders. So whenever you're sharing with any person outside the organization, always use this. When it is inside the organization, again there is a thin line difference between these two. Here it does not differentiate between insider and outsider. This link can be accessible by anyone, but here this link can be accessed by anyone who has the Office 365 user ID and password. Okay, so now next thing that we have here, after sharing, now let me quickly share one file. I create one file with Prashant and let me share it with all of you. Okay, So I'm creating one file with, okay, so I have created one file with Prashant, and what I'm going to do is I'll quickly name it as a new file. With Office 365, I can click here and make the file name change, new file, and let me share it. See how simple is it to share the file with anyone. I'm using this specific people. Let me allow him to make the changes. I go ahead and make the changes, and I click on Prashant. Okay, I'm clicking here, link send, and now Prashant will receive an email. Now, when Prashant receives an email, he will now be able to come online and make the changes. So, somebody asked, what does it mean that editing, allow editing? That means now Prashant and I can work together on this file. Yeah. So, I'm just waiting for him to just come online. Okay, till the time he comes online, let me show you that this file is new file is somewhere here created, and till he comes online, it is going to take a little while. So I do right click, and whatever changes that Prashant and I do, I can see those in different versions. So I have version history here. These are the three versions. So I've created the file, renamed the file, and all those. I've shared the file with someone. What you need to do is whenever we make changes, there will be new versions created. This is nothing but when you do a right click, go to version history. I can revert to any specific version by clicking over here, open file or restore. So at the moment, here I have the option of restore, so I can restore it to any specific version. Now in today's era, the biggest problem is forgetting the password. So even Prashant has forgotten the password, so he's trying to recover it. I'll proceed right now, and as soon as he is done, I'm going to ask him to come onto the screen with me. Yeah. So now with this, one more thing I'm going to talk about is how are we going to go ahead and use this OneDrive with Office 365 application. Now, let's say Excel is one of my favorite applications. I'm starting with Excel. I go to File and I go to Account. Okay. Now, let me tell you, if you see File but don't see Account, you are using Office 2010. If you have File and you click on Account, on the right hand side, you have the license, which is Office 365 Pro Plus, and here again we have the version number. So remember, version number of Windows is different from version number of Excel. Okay, now here we have the version number, which is 2003. So make sure that higher this number, the latest feature you will have. Okay, now coming back to Office 365 version, this file, this is a completely new file that I've created. Okay, now if you see over here, I see something called as autosave. Now what is that autosave? Yeah, let me first show you. There is some problem, the screen is not going there. So yeah, it's gone. Fantastic. All right, so what I can do is this autosave will be turned on automatically if I save this file on OneDrive. So I can quickly come here and I can save OneDrive. Yeah, so I'm saving it on my let's say desktop directly from here. I have chosen desktop, and here I'm saying delete. So whatever files I have to delete, I generally click on delete and I click on save. So I've clicked on delete and I've clicked on save. Yeah, the moment I click on delete and I click on save, see this OneDrive autosave got turned on. That means if any file, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, if they are saved on OneDrive, I need not save any particular file. See, I'm making some changes. I click here, make some changes here. I click here, I make some changes here. Yeah, and I can simply close this file. See, it did not give me a prompt message to save the file. Why? Because my files are already saved. Let me open Excel and open it. And now, if I have to rename this file, I don't have to go back and do save as. Generally, what we used to do, we used to go to save as copy and then rename a file, or we would go to that particular folder, first close this file, go to that folder and then rename the file. You need not rename the file by closing the file, but you can just come here and say delete today. So this file automatically got renamed. See how simple is it? I can rename it. But now I don't want it to be in my desktop. I want it to be on my, let's say, any other folder. Let's say German docs. I click here and click here. Automatically this file will be moved from my desktop to that particular folder. So often we have the habit of saving this file on desktop and then we go ahead and move it to somewhere else. I can now do it while having this file open. So these are the flexibilities that I'm getting if I save these files on OneDrive. So friends, do understand, if you save a file, first thing, it automatically gets saved, and second thing, I can rename or move the files directly from the application. Third thing, I can share the file just like I do in OneDrive or OneDrive Cloud. I need not go to online. So here, now I've got those flexibilities that I can share and work together. Okay. Now, let me close this and again go back to check with Prashant. Yeah, Prashant is online right now, and you can see that Prashant is also editing with me. Yeah, we both are editing this file, and where is he editing? He is editing here. So let me edit here. So let's say name, location, and company. Okay, so I say name Pradeep, location US, NASA. Yeah, I wanted to be a scientist someday, but I couldn't be, so I became the trainer. Don't worry. Prashant, please make the changes below. Yeah, so we both are making changes, right? While Prashant is making changes, I think that I'm not able to use all the features of Excel here. Not all the features are available here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to desktop application. So I click on open Excel. So now what is happening, I have opened that particular file over here, and you can see Prashant Pradeshi has this workbook open. So we both are working here. I can see Prashant is here. Earlier, this feature was not available that we both can make the changes simultaneously. So Prashant, can you once again make the changes to the file? So now I'm not working on the browser, friends. I'm working online on my desktop application. So Prashant has shifted here and he's making changes, and I can also make changes here. So friends, understand, we both can make changes together. So he can work on his computer online and I'm working on my computer on the application. So that is the best thing that OneDrive offers. So friends, in this session, we have discussed various ways of working with OneDrive. First of all, we worked with OneDrive backup. Then we spoke about first we spoke about how do we configure OneDrive, and then working with OneDrive Cloud, syncing OneDrive, how do we manage the different storage space, how do we manage the space, as well as sharing the files, working externally, working in sharing internally, externally, and working with other people. So now although we are at 6:29, I can spare 5 minutes for questions. So just in case if you guys have any questions, I can take up those questions. So let me take a look at the questions that I have received so far. So I am now there are a lot of questions. So friends, we have actually gone to 800 attendees. So I'm happy to announce that. By the way, it has now reduced to a certain extent, but highest participation was 800 attendees. I'm very happy with that. How to copy an entire folder into OneDrive? I tried once, was unable to copy one file at a time. Yeah, someone is asking the question, how do we copy and paste the entire folder? So what we can do is right click copy, and you just put it in whichever folder you want to put it. I will just copy and paste that folder here, and I can do it that way. Okay, so actually there are plenty of questions and I'm just taking few questions. We have Office 365 24 users. Can each individual create their folders with passwords so that only individual can access? Okay, this is a very good question. He has asked a question. We have Office 365 for 25 users. Can each individual create their folder with password to individual? We have Office 3. Okay, now let me tell you, so that only that individual can access. Okay, let me tell you what he's trying to access is, you remember I spoke about sharing with password. So you can do right click, you can go ahead and share, and here there is an option to share with password, and this password option and expiration option, by the way, is available only with anyone with the link. See, if I use this, both the options are gone. If I use this, both the options are gone. Yeah. So password and expiration date both are available only with this particular feature, anyone with the link. And in most of the organization, this link or option will be disabled. Okay. Now here he is trying to say that we will create one folder and give a password and share it with someone else. Okay. Now let me tell you, that is very much possible. You would want to do it with this particular option because you have created a folder and that is for targeted person. Now I would recommend stop using this feature. If you stop using this feature, you need not use this password. Use the specific people. Now specific people has got the password in itself. Let's say if I share it with person A, that link goes to person B. Any which ways that person will not be able to see that file. So rather than using the password and all those things and having the hassle of remembering the password, better you use this option and give the access to that specific person. When you use this specific person, you are not limited to Office 365 or Microsoft application. You can even give access to a person who is using Gmail, Yahoo, Rediffmail, any other person outside the organization. That was a wonderful question which was asked. Now again, Nivedita is asking, what is the security of a file stored on the cloud? Fantastic question. Now let me ask you, in the era when we are using Android and everything is online, so just to give you a straightforward answer, everything is secure. At the same time, everything is highly vulnerable. When I say highly vulnerable means, see, when it comes to Office 365, it is very much secure. But why is it vulnerable? If I'm a hacker and if I have to take the control of your data, or if I need your data or your account, I will not target Microsoft or Google because their security is of very high standard. Again, even that is not unbreachable. It can be breached, but it requires highly skilled professional and the army of cyber professionals. Yeah. But again, the percentage of them being able to achieve success, I have read in some newspaper that the percentage of any hacker being successful in breaching the security of these websites is 0.001%. Or I may have forgotten the number of zeros, but it is very less. Yeah. So remember, if I have to target your account, your files, I won't target Microsoft or Google. I will use the most vulnerable key in the entire chain, and that is the user. I'll target the user. I'll try to hack into his system and get his password. And I have various ways of using keylogger, using some spyware, malware, and a lot of things. Now, that is the answer to your question, that these systems are highly secure. Your practices needs to be practice good standard and maintain good standards so that your system doesn't get compromised by some email or attachment or browsing any website. Second thing, we have been using email in the organizations in ages, and where does our email get stored? On the cloud. So this OneDrive is nothing but a cloud service. The only difference between your email and this OneDrive cloud is email you can share in the form of an attachment, and here you can share the actual files. Yeah. So it is very much possible. Yeah. One question, what is the difference between personal OneDrive and professional OneDrive? A personal OneDrive gives you 5 GB of space, professional OneDrive gives you 1 terabyte of space, and there are many other features which are not available in personal OneDrive. Yeah. Like personal OneDrive, you will not get the option of expiration date, set, password, and all those things. Personal isn't free OneDrive I'm talking about. Personal OneDrive can be paid also, and in paid you do get these two features. Yeah. Then we have Shambhunath Jha. Can a user make changes to setting of storage configuration without admin rights? Answer is no. Only admin can make the changes. Can data corrupt online? No. So, okay, friends, there are plenty of questions. I tried to answer most of the questions. And how do I make light green icon into permanent green icon? Okay. I think I answered this question, but let me answer this question. Just simply light green icon, do right click on that light green icon and make it always keep on this device. Yeah. So friends, there were plenty of questions and I'm still scrolling down, and this list is endless. Of course, we have had 800 people registering for the attending this live session, so I may have 800 questions. So it is very difficult for me to answer all those questions. But one thing I will do right now is Prashant is going to share the feedback with us. And Prashant, please share the feedback on the chat, and I will highly appreciate your questions, comments. So friends, I think I have been able to do justice with this 1 hour, and I would like all of you to connect with me on LinkedIn and do leave any comment if you think I have done something, done some justice to this 1 hour of OneDrive session. Do leave a comment. Once again, before Prashant is sharing the feedback, now what I would like you to do is, before he shares, can I once again request you to go to this website and make some donation for the people who are suffering today with COVID-19 situation? Yeah. And like I said, if you don't want to donate in PM Cares, you may choose any organization of your charity, or you can go on street and feed people who are hungry. Please ensure that you do some kind of charity today itself or latest by tomorrow, because if we keep it for the end of the week, then the end of the week never comes. Tomorrow never comes. Yeah. So that's my humble request, and do connect with me on LinkedIn and do leave the comments, positive or negative, it's your choice. On YouTube, I will appreciate you going to this YouTube channel. You will get plenty of videos, almost more than 100 videos I've created, where I keep sharing productivity tips. I will appreciate if you go to this YouTube channel, leave your comment, watch videos, learn, comment, share, like, bell icon zarur dabaiye. Thank you. So Prashant has shared the feedback. Like I said, friends, we still have 14 more sessions to go, and these feedback will help me to do better in future sessions. And trust me, I do consider the feedbacks. So I'm meanwhile, till you guys share feedback, let me take up some questions. Okay, there are 202 new questions. Can two OneDrive accounts can be taken into the same machine? Yes, it can be. All you have to do is do right click, go to settings, and here you can on the account go to add an account. You can do. Yes, I'm going to upload these recordings on OneDrive. Yeah, but that will take some time. I may not be able to immediately start the recording. Yeah, so friends, we have got only 1 hour, so it may not be possible for me to give you enough time to practice, but this is something that you can quickly make a note of. I go very slow, and I am recording these sessions, so do subscribe to my channel. I repeat, once I show you the channel name once again. This is my channel. I'm going to be uploading these videos there. You can then go ahead and watch these videos at your own pace. So you just need to sign in on both the windows with the same user ID and password. When you sync the folder, automatically it gets synced with the OneDrive. Can data corrupt online? Answer is no. Okay, there's an interesting question, friends. If we have used 1 terabyte of OneDrive space and then our license expires, what will happen to the data? Shall we even be able to access it? See, what happens if your license expires? What will happen is your OneDrive team or Microsoft will send you an email after expiration, and the data will be there, and you will be able to access for some time, like 1 or 2 months. Then your data will be frozen. That means you will not be able to add new files, but you can download and take the backup. And if you still do not remove the data from OneDrive, then Microsoft will send you a final email that your data will be deleted after so and so date. And if you still don't take the backup or you don't remove the files, Microsoft is going to delete and close the account. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Binay. Nilesh, first thing, yes, you can intimate. You can even share the files on your mobile. Actually, I wanted to take up the mobile session also, but I couldn't because of the time. But you can share the files from your mobile, OneDrive mobile. And I would recommend everyone to use OneDrive mobile. So friends, there is the endless list of questions, and I can go on and on for a lot of sessions. Since it's 6:45, 15 minutes past 6:30, I would like to take a pause here. I will come back tomorrow once again with SharePoint, planner and the Power App. So there are three applications that is going to be explained tomorrow. These are very useful. Let me give you one information about SharePoint. OneDrive is personal, SharePoint is for the team. That is one thing. And there are a lot of features which are there in SharePoint that I'm going to explain. So do tune in tomorrow as well at the same time, 5:30, and I'm going to explain all these tools with you all. Thank you very much. So friends, I'm taking a pause here. I will definitely go through the feedback. Those who have not filled the feedback forms, please do it. It is very much essential for me. Once again, two requests: do make some donations, and the third one is please leave some comments here, uh, positive, negative, whatever you think about this session. Thank you.